So how do we go from 3 weeks since the pre-order date finished to over 2 months without a single shipping notification for the UK, Australia, or the US? Well, I've got some answers, so let's delve into it. So I have the 3 army starter set, really looking forward to it. Unfortunately, it is going to come at a bit of a bad time for me, but that doesn't mean it'll come at a bad time for you. So I'm going to be doing quite a lot of hobby content based off of my orders, so you can expect to see lots of updates here on the channel. Yeah, it's going to be a good time. Alright, on to the shipping. So it's officially been over 2 months since the pre-orders closed for Starcraft TMG. And in that time, we've had a few AMAs from Archon. And I will 100% applaud Archon Studios. These AMAs have been really useful and really exciting. Now, both Jarek and Simon have been amazing. They've given us little previews and little snippets into what we're actually got coming up as well, much to the chagrin of their marketing team. So we appreciate these AMAs. They're really good. So the last update that we had was our Wave 1 shipping FAQ. Now, this was quite comprehensive. It gave us an update as to how much of what has shipped and where, but also the timeline of when everything else was going to ship. And herein lied the problem. This was at the end of June, so you'd think the dates would be very accurate considering a week later was UK shipping. 740 orders. Now, I can tell you that order did not ship until the end of last week. Without pointing fingers, these things happen. I think this has been a very unprecedented challenge to Archon Studios to deliver so many miniatures in such a short period of time. Of course it overwhelmed them. Of course it did. It was as successful as they could possibly have hoped for, and more. The thing is, the last time we had this update, we could see the US was 3/4 full. We could see that Canada were a few days off of having their orders shipped, and the UK was about a week off of having their orders shipped, which is good because the EU was about halfway through their contingent of orders. However, like I say, I have evidence to prove that the UK didn't ship until last week, and even that is most likely the end of last week. How do I know this? So thanks to the amazing Kill Team channel, Glass Half Dead, we have a Discord down in the description. Get yourselves on there. And through that, we've had several of the people who have ordered this from the UK questioning Archon, pushing. And they got a response today. And it's not great, but it is good news. So the orders themselves have been shipped, and they were shipped. They didn't give an exact date, but going off of the fact that they haven't responded with a proper update all last week until today, it's looking like a Thursday or Friday. So end of the week, that's when they've shipped. So within roughly 2 to 3 days, those shipments should be landing in the UK and going through customs. This is going to take a little while, of course. Now, that is just for the UK. We know that we are roughly 3 weeks later than we should have been. So it's frustrating because they haven't given us any more information. And these AMAs, as useful as they are, just are not quick, instant responses. And I've seen a fair few people on forums a little bit confused as to where their order is, and very much so frustrated, especially those that have dumped in £400-500 or roughly $600-700. It's a lot of money to just be somewhere in the ether. Now, this is Archon Studio, and they have been working incredibly hard, and I 100% trust that these miniatures will be delivered. I don't think that's in question. What is in question is their communication, and their AMAs are fantastic. But when shipping starts to slip like this and we're left without answers to questions for over a month, someone has to be looking within the company and thinking to themselves, okay, we need to give them an update. It doesn't matter if it's not a full-blown AMA. It doesn't matter if the big boss isn't in. They just need an update. Look, your orders are still being processed and worked through. They are being shipped, but it's later than expected. You know, maybe a light update, maybe marketing can create another one of these that's been updated. The frustration comes when you don't know. Not knowing is by far away the biggest problem that we've all had. And that's not just for the UK, that's for the US, it's for Canada, it's for the EU as well. Despite them being the first people to get their orders. I'm not bitter, I promise you. I've seen that, like, you know, I think the first one to arrive in Poland was literally the end of last week. So it's been arriving in France, Germany, all these kind of places. And, you know, I presume with their expected shipping, they wanted this to all arrive at once. The reality is it hasn't, and it's arrived far more delayed than we expected. Now, Australia and New Zealand, I'm unfortunately hearing that we're going to be looking somewhere at September. Yeah, around there, so over a month. Again, that was saying it was going to ship July 9th to July 14th. Yeah, we're 2 weeks behind, or 2.5 weeks, so I hate to say it, but it's going to be a long, long time to get to you, and then to go through customs. So you are probably looking at 4 to 5, maybe even 6 weeks. Brace yourselves. Is it the end of the world? Absolutely not. They are, at the end of the day, just miniatures, and it is incredibly frustrating that they've already set up the preview for Wave 2. This is going to be around about the time that they've finished shipping everything. So in their mind, it's like, it's out the door. Let's get on with Wave 2. We're already behind schedule. And I get it. But Archon, take it from me who's been travelling forums for a while. People, and again, it is the loudest minority, but they're not happy when their order hasn't arrived, that you're doing previews, that you'll be doing the next pre-orders for miniatures of a game that haven't even shipped out their first wave, that have not been delivered to, let's be honest, 90% of people that have ordered. It's very frustrating for them. Really, really frustrating. So I just want that to get, you know, passed on to the right people. And again, you know, this has been an incredibly difficult thing. The undertaking of the logistics of this is mental. The expansion that you've had to do to your production facility is just, yeah, you stepped up to the plate, but you've had slip-ups, and those slip-ups are mostly communication. Communication, and I think Wave 2, you are previewing it just a little too soon. I think orders need to be reaching doors in the US for certain. I mean, ideally, they kind of want to be getting delivered all across the world, not just Europe. Because I feel like you've really, really slipped here. The trust will have dropped, unfortunately. And again, you're going to be asking for more people to put down their wallet, and, you know, and we've got some awesome miniatures coming. The Siege Tank's going to be incredible. The Immortals are going to be amazing. I'm looking forward to Nova. But it leaves a bitter taste in people's mouths. This is a little bit of a clusterfuck. And it's not overly surprising. And I don't want to be harsh on Archon, because this is to be expected when a game is just so successful. I just think the communication needs to be improved. I don't think we're going to have this occurring again, just because this is obviously a brand new game and this is a lot of orders for them to get through. I don't think we're going to worry about that happening for Wave 2. I think it's going to be a lot easier for them. Certainly they've done nice things for us, like the rulebooks that have been printed out. That's incredible. But these AMAs, they work really nicely. Don't rely on them. Don't rely on the AMAs to be the only way that you can feed information to us. I mean, you have a news blog there. I'm not being funny, but I can populate a post on YouTube in the space of 10 minutes. I'm one man. You have an entire team, a marketing team that should all be capable of getting information like this to us, communicated to us, so that we're not left in the dark, which is what we have been. It's not a good feeling. Now, I am genuinely interested to know from all of you at home, if you have got your order, how happy are you? How good was the product? Was there any faults? I've seen some missing pieces of the sprues. How have Archon dealt with that? Have they dealt with that? For those of you that don't have your orders, have you had any updates whatsoever? For me, my shipping still says paid. Now, it is also worth noting that we do have an AMA update on Thursday with Jarek, with Simon. They're going to give us a full response as to what is going on. So any speculation that you hear from me is going to be very quickly overridden by Jarek and Simon on Thursday evening, EU time. I think it's 7 o'clock UK, so get yourselves on there, get watching that on their YouTube channel. I think it's also on their Facebook. But yes, we're going to be finding out more of what's going on. You know, it's good that they do them. So I'm going to be doing quite a lot of hobby content based off of my orders. So you can expect to see lots of updates here on the channel. So if that's what you're looking for, also please leave a like on this video and subscribe. It'll help others people find the videos. And it'll also help you find my painting tutorials, some of the live streams that we're going to be doing as well. A big thank you to my Patreons as well. Thank you all for helping support the channel. And we will also be holding our giveaway on Friday for Friday's video. So if any of you want to have an additional automatic entry, get yourselves down onto our Patreon and be a paid member. As a big thank you, you get that, in addition to our exclusive Discord and, of course, our live Q&As as well. So thank you all for watching. I hope this has been useful and cleared up some of the fog of war that has been littered around this shipping issue. And I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye for now.